Hello, beautiful yogis. Welcome to the session that is leading us into a shoulder stand. I'll give you a slightly easier variation of shoulder stand, and then we'll do full shoulder stand followed by halasana. But before we do that, let's find our comfortable seat, letting your sitting bones rest on the earth. If you're not that comfortable sitting directly on the floor, grab a blanket, place it under the edges of the buttocks, so that you're almost tilting forward off it with an anterior tilt to the pelvic bone. Let the eyes fall closed. Relax your shoulders. Relax your jaw. Allow everything that came before this class to disperse. And let yourself be completely in the present moment. Feeling the ebb and flow of the breath. And encouraging a depth of your breathing. Engaging the entirety of the lungs as much as possible. As you next exhale, let your eyes blink open. And for this beginning part of the practice, we need something to hold between our hands. I'm using a strap. You might find, if you don't have a strap, that you have a scarf or a belt or even a towel. Take your strap not too far apart. The hands about shoulder width or a little bit wider. Inhale, bring the arms up above your head and begin to make small circles. We're not in a race. We're moving as slowly as we need to. Getting the synovial fluid working into the joint capsule, starting to warm up the shoulders. Pause and change direction, circling the other way. And coming towards stillness, slide the hands a little bit further apart. And as you exhale, begin to bring the arms back behind you, finding that juicy place, letting yourself rest there. Inhale, lift the arms back up, and exhale, take the arms back behind you again. Once more sitting in that spot where you feel some resistance. If it's too difficult for you, you can always take the hands further apart, or if it's too easy, take them closer together. As you inhale, bring the arms back to center. Exhale, take the hands across to one side, opening through the side body. Inhale up to center. Exhale down to the other side. Inhale up to center. One more time to each side. Exhaling as you side bend. Inhaling as you lift. Exhaling as you side bend. Inhale up to center, and you're beginning to work some circles, so nice large circles this time. Taking the arms back behind you and then in front of you. Circling around the body, continuing to wake up and energize these shoulders. And then pause and change direction, circling the other way. Keeping the breath moving. One last circle. And then coming to stillness, moving the strap off to the side. Interlock the hands behind the back, stretch the hands away from you. And exhale, take your little fist package to one side. Pulling the elbows towards one another, resisting a little with the hands. Feeling the opening through the shoulder girdle. Keeping the rib cage tucked in and breathing here. As you exhale, take the hands back behind you and then bring them to the other side of the body, changing the interlock if you feel you need to. Working the elbows towards one another, placing a little resistance with the hands against each other. Feeling of openness. As you exhale, release the hands, Bring the hands to the knees and circle the shoulders a few times. First in one direction and then in the other direction. Coming to stillness with the shoulders, bring the chin towards the chest and begin to circle the head. If this is not comfortable, you can keep your head upright and simply turn the head from one side to the other. Circle a few times in one direction, and then when the chin next comes towards your chest, pause and circle the other way. And when the chin next comes to your chest, gently lift the head. We're going to come forward onto our hands and knees, moving the blanket if you're using one out of the way, placing the hands underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips, and moving through cat and cow. Inhale the belly towards the floor, lift the tail, lift the head. Exhale, belly up towards the spine, head and tail drop. Inhale back into cow pose, and exhale into cat. One more time, inhaling into cow. And then when you get into cat pose, start to circle the torso, rib cage coming to one side, down into cow, rib cage to the other side and back to cat. Continuing to circle around, letting the elbows bend and move so that the shoulder can get a little more stimulation as you circle the torso around. Opening up the side body, allowing a little more room for the breath, for the lungs. When you next come into cat pose, pause and change direction, circling the other way. Noticing if there's any areas that might feel a little bit stuck or sticky. Spend slightly more time there. And then gently coming to stillness, taking the big toes together, sinking the buttocks back towards the heels and stretching the arms out in front of you. Coming up onto your fingertips if you can in an extended child's pose. And then walking the hands across to the right hand side. Reaching the left hand a little bit further away from you to get the stretch down the side body. Breathing into that left lung. Inhale, walk the hands back to centre. And then exhale the hands across to the left hand side. Inching the right hand a little bit further away from you. Breathing into the right side body. As you inhale, bring yourself back to centre, planting the hands, pushing yourself back up away from the floor, tucking the toes and lifting up into downward dog. Take the weight onto the thumb side of the hands, lift the heels nice and high. Let the neck be relaxed, the head hanging. Exhale, take the right heel down towards the floor, and then inhale and change sides. Exhale back to the original side, walking the dog, moving in time with your breath as you cycle from one heel going down to the other. Then bring both heels back up to centre as you exhale, swivel on the balls of your feet, taking the heels out to the left, pushing evenly into the hands, lifting the buttocks back and up. Inhale back to centre. Exhale, swivel on the balls of your feet, taking the heels to the opposite side. A little bit of side body opening in our down dog. Inhale, bring yourself back to centre. Take the knees down to the floor for a moment and then bring the elbows down, placing the palms together in prayer position, lifting the knees up away from the floor and walking the feet in as much as you comfortably can for dolphin pose. Tilting the tail straight up towards the ceiling, pushing into the forearms, the side of the hands. You can have your heels nice and high here. Feel that opening happening through the shoulders. And then as you exhale, release the knees to the floor. We're going to come around onto our butt and then our back to prepare for shoulder stand. The first variation I'm going to show you is a modified shoulder stand. For those that haven't done it before, it's a really good option to start with. First of all, bring the knees in towards the chest. But before I start, I just want to remind you that it's really important not to turn your head like I am right now. So keep yourself facing up towards the ceiling at all times during any variation of shoulder stand. In fact, any inversion at all. Bring the knees into the chest, lift the buttocks away from you and place the palms of the hands on the sides of the pelvic bone. You'll see that my legs are tilted at a 45-degree angle roughly, and the weight of my legs and pelvis is supported by my hands. So the forearms are doing a lot of the work here. The body's just relaxing. We've still got a little bit of throat lock happening, which brings part of the benefit of a shoulder stand. So you can stay in that variation, or if you want to come into full shoulder stand, and return to the floor and prepare. You'll need to push into the hands a little to lift the feet up over your head, and then walk onto the tops of your shoulders, bringing your hands onto your bare skin at the back of the body, and then taking the legs up towards the ceiling. Again, it's important to remember not to turn the head here. You can walk your hands further up the rib cage, looking up towards the feet, gaze at the knees or gaze at the belly, whichever works best for you. So once in shoulder stand, you can simply remain here, or if you'd like to do some variations, perhaps lower one leg at a time towards the earth. Inhale, lift it up, change sides, exhale the other leg down, inhale, lift. Maybe taking one leg out at a 45-degree angle, inhale, lift, and the other leg coming down. So you can stay here for quite a long time. 3 to 5 minutes is absolutely okay. If you'd like to come into Halasana, bring the legs over to the floor at this stage. If it's comfortable for you, you can stretch your arms along the floor above your head, or you can leave them resting on the spine, whichever's more comfortable for you. From Halasana, we can come into a wide-legged variation, perhaps taking the hands towards the feet. And then Ardha Halasana with one foot coming to meet the other. Back into that wide-legged position. The second foot moving to meet the first. And then back. And coming into Halasana again, staying for as long as you'd like. To come out of the pose, gently roll down. I like to hold my toes and ease my spine back to the floor, not lifting my head at first. Bringing my hands down, resting the palms on the floor, just under the edges of the buttocks. Pushing into the elbows to lift the chest up and let the head fall backward into fish pose. This is a necessary counter pose to shoulder stand. And then as you next exhale, release the back of the head to the floor. Bring the knees into the chest, give them a little bit of a hug. Stretch the right leg away from you and take the left leg across the body to the right hand side. Hand supporting the knee, left arm opening back behind you. If it's too strong for your shoulder to have the left arm along the floor, you can circle it around your head, or you can rest the hand at your waist, finding the position that works for you. There's no need to rush this twist. You can stay for as long as you'd like. When you're ready to come out, inhale, bring yourself back to center, hugging both knees into your chest. And then stretch the left leg away from you. Take the right knee across the body, supporting the outer knee with your left hand. And open the right arm back behind you. Or use one of the variations that I mentioned, circling the head or resting at your waist. When I finish a practice with a twist, I tend to be very relaxed in the neck. You can be quite aggressive, turning the head towards the right hand. But it's often more comfortable to keep the face towards the ceiling, or even turn the head to be very relaxed towards the bent knee next to you. Continuing to breathe, bringing additional blood to your organs, helping to wring them out and release toxins. And then as you exhale, carefully unwind, bring the knees into the chest, hug the knees in, perhaps bring your nose to smooch the knees. And begin to release down to the floor for Shavasana, letting the arms rest, letting the legs rest. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just breathe. Staying for as long as you're able to in Shavasana. And if you're ready to come out, bend the knees and either roll to your side or make your way directly up to sitting. In honour of your practice, Namaste.